I'm Marina Taylor.
I'm Marina's mom, Junko Taylor.
Together, we did the research for 100 Years of Beauty Japan. Western styles and Western trends have a huge influence on Japanese beauty and fashion at the time. They don't just copy exactly what they see, they combine and mix, make it uniquely Japanese.
And we see that throughout this 100 years.
Yeah. In the 1910s, Japan is going through what's called the Meiji Restoration. Also at the same time, the emperor sends nobles to Europe to study the culture and the society there and to bring it back to Japan so that they can implement it into their own culture. The sokuhatsu is a blend of kind of two styles, one being the nihongami.
Bundled hair.
It's really reminiscent of the Edwardian pompadour that we see popular in Europe. She has
Ochoboguchi, which is a small lip painted inside of the natural lip line.
In the 1920s, Japan is in the middle of what's called the Taisho democracy. And we see Japan urbanizing, modernizing, and beginning to grow. And there's one magazine, Fujin Gurafu, first magazine in Japan that was targeting women. We see a picture in that magazine of the perm. And this perm becomes kind of a staple in Japanese fashion. And that brought us to the mimikakushi hairstyle.
Hidden ear.
In the 1930s, globally, we see the rise of the modern girl. The woman desire to be free of these sexual, social, and political norms. We have moga. Moga was criticized for the foreign influences they absorbed and displayed, and conservatives viewed the whole moga culture as what's called eroguro nonsense, erotic, grotesque, and nonsense. So after this, we have World War II. In 1941, Pearl Harbor happens and life is changed for every single woman and man in Japan. Self-restraint is the motto for women every day, and there's even a campaign against the perm wave.
Jugohatsu is the hairstyle that we chose for this era. That means hairstyle behind the gun. And the word on the hachimaki does say kamikaze, which most of the Americans relate that to suicide bombers. At that time, the characters were pronounced shimpu. That means divine wind.
World War II ends in 1945, and in the 50s, we are in the midst of the American occupation of Japan. Audrey Hepburn, who is an icon globally of this time, is huge in Japan. The white scarf wrapped around Mei's head is a nod to the Machiko Maki.
Machiko is the name of the heroine in this radio show called Kimi no Na wa.
Historically at this time, Japan is experiencing a post-war economic boom in what's known as the Golden 60s. Mei's look was inspired by a popular pop singer at the time, Chio Okumura. She kind of has that iconic go-go girl look, huge big eyes with the dramatic eyelashes and the colorful eyeshadows that we see Twiggy really put on the map. In the 70s, Japan's economy is continuing to grow. There is a new fashion magazine that comes out called An An. Sayoko Yamaguchi is the name of a model who often graced the pages of An An, and she is Japan's first internationally recognized supermodel. She's known for her iconic blunt, straight bangs, kind of resembling a traditional Japanese doll with her look.
Her look wasn't the mainstream of this era, but we thought it was very unique. As a matter of fact, I had that look too.
The 80s are particularly marked with materialism and consumerism.
The most iconic look of this era is Seiko Matsuda. Everybody copied her Seiko-chan cut.
Seiko Matsuda is known for coining burikko. Burikko is a specific term for the demeanor or the style of personal appearance. And it's the idea of a helpless, submissive, cute look of a young girl. In the 90s, Japan is in what's called the bubble economy. We have the one-length sauvage look. The look is iconic of the woman that would go to the discotheque clubs in Tokyo. In the later half of the 90s, we see the emergence of Tokyo street fashion, and the look we chose is ganguro. It's subculture that was started by rebellious youth, and it's to contradict the traditional Japanese beauty ideals. Ganguro itself translates gan means face, guro means black. It's not meant to be a racist portrayal of black people, it's more about challenging the traditional Japanese norms. So following the economic recession, there's a lot of hope and optimism going into the 21st century in Japan. Fashion is about mixing casual and luxury items. We based May's look off of a popular model in magazines at the time,
Yuri Ebihara.
and her style, the Ebi-chan Maki. The everyday, more natural, girl next door kind of look is in. And for the bonus look, we chose the morigami hair of the agejo. There was a very popular magazine for this subculture called Koakuma Ageha, translates to Little Devil Butterfly, and most of the models featured in this magazine wore their hair big and teased, lots of volume, lots of height, and it rode the line between skimpy and classy. The 2010s, the most recent decade, we see the rise in Iyashikei girl,
Iyashi means healing or
pleasing to the eye. So these are girls that are smiley, they're motherly, they don't criticize. The look in the 2010s is the Yurufua perm. So on the complete flip side, we have our Decora bonus look. This fashion is particularly centered around Harajuku. It's known for the toy box style, the cheap accessories that can be purchased all over Harajuku. Japan is a very homogenous culture, and sticking out is not really encouraged. There's a saying in Japan,
出る釘は打たれる.
the nail that sticks out gets hammered in. It'll be interesting to see how the mainstream beauty looks continue and whether these street fashion, counterculture beauty ideals will evolve as well.
ありがとうございました。